Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to 24th of November, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles, because they're going to around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that will get us well into the early stages of December. I'll get on that for you in a moment. Just say it first, video was our 6 AM upload. I'm going to be live streaming tonight, 8 PM. We'll be doing a live stream discussing the 11th winter update that we released yesterday. I shall see you live perhaps a little bit later on. Running very late today. I'll be at NGH having an appointment. Everything went absolutely fine, but because of that, I'm running really late. So sorry for anyone who's been waiting for today's 10 to 14 day. Right, here we go then. We're going to start off sectoring temperature. The CT is up to 10.8 now, which is a phenomenal 4.5 degrees, 4.4 degrees above average, provisional to yesterday to the 13th. I think that's about as high as it's going to get. I don't think that's going to go any higher than that, and should gradually start declining now through the second half of the month. I think that will gradually begin to ease down. So exceptionally mild first half to November, though, following on from what have been extraordinarily warm year. If you have a look at the numbers there, you know, we've got February 3 degrees above average, March over 2 degrees above average, May 2 degrees above average, July over 2 degrees above average, August about 3 degrees above average, October over 2 degrees above average, and yeah, at the moment we're like 4.5 degrees above average, although that will be coming down. It's going to be another significantly above average month, probably by about another couple of degrees or something like that. So, no, yeah, very, very, very mild November so far. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at Coventry today. So red line is referred to your upper air temperature average for Coventry. You see that we're starting off still above average at the moment, but upper air temperatures are on their way down. Over weekend we was around 10 degrees at 850 HPA. So the upper air temperatures are already lowering, and by the time we get through to the middle to second half this week, actually we're back close to average. And then through the last 10 days or so of November, just hovering very close to long-term averages. It'll probably still be a little bit milder than average, you know, when you average it all out, but certainly significantly cooler than what we've had over the past few days, and very wet. I think that's probably the main story going into the second half of November. There's large precipitation spikes here, more or less from beginning to end within the ensemble, to be honest. So it looks like the second half of November is going to be very wet indeed. I think this is going to be quite significantly wetter than average month, to be honest. So plenty of rain to come and turning cooler. Temperature anomalies from the 14th to 22nd of November, about average, just a little bit above average, but that anomaly is coming down compared to what it was a few days ago. Now, precipitation anomalies from the 14th to the 22nd of November, average or wetter than average, away from northern Scotland, where it's a little bit drier. Latest wind flow map from EarthNorthSchool.net, so we've got low pressure in the Atlantic, so low pressure is taking control of the weather after high pressure reaching in from southern and eastern Europe over the weekend. At the end of last week, over the weekend, that high pressure is on its way out, and the low pressure over is going to be the driving factor over the next couple of weeks, coming in from off the Atlantic Ocean. That low pressure will be, you know, the main driver of the weather. Right, so the latest wind flow map from EarthNorthSchool.net looking like this. No, what am I talking about? This is how the UK Met Euro run is looking. I'm trying to rush it, you see, because I know I'm running so late. This is how the latest UK Met Euro run is looking for midnight on Thursday. Very wet and windy, deep low pressure in off the Atlantic. That's going to be bringing heavy rain and gale force winds with it. Into Friday, we look showery with westerly winds and then further low pressure sweeping in off the Atlantic through the weekend. More wet and windy weather to come. And right way up to the beginning of next week, low pressure is in control. We've got a little bit of a transient ridge there, actually, midnight next morning. But the next low is waiting in the wings, and that, I'm sure, has got our name well and truly on it. Notice we have got high pressure over Scandinavia over the next week or so. That high pressure is not going to be able to influence the weather, you know, up to like a week out anyway. Icon looks like that once more. Very wet, windy on Thursday. Deep low pressure sweeping in through the country. Wednesday into Thursday, into showery conditions for Friday, and then into weekend more low pressure, being wet and windy weather from Saturday into Sunday. And further low pressure moving in from off the Atlantic as we go into the beginning of next week. This is midday next Monday. The next low pressure bringing the next batch of wet and windy weather with it. Looks very unsettled, this, doesn't it? GFS midnight run, again, looking much of a muchness for Thursday. Very wet, windy conditions Wednesday into Thursday. And then Friday we're into like sunshine showers before more wet and windy weather sweeps through the country Saturday into Sunday. Into the early part of next week, yes, more low pressure keeps coming, bringing further bouts of rain through the following week as well. Heading up towards and beyond day 10, we remain very unsettled with winds in from off the Atlantic. More wind and rain to come, sometimes mild, sometimes cooler, but always looking very unsettled right way up to the end of GFS midnight run, which today gets us to the last day of November, 30th month. Still looks very unsettled. Our heights are rising to the northeast, you'll notice, into northwestern Russia and pushing into Scandinavia. Easy winds for the far north of Europe, in colder air there, but we remain under the low pressure and the relatively mild Atlantic westerly winds continue. So, sorry everyone, this is how the GFS 6 head looks. Again, we've got low pressure across the country Wednesday to Thursday. That's bringing heavy bouts of rain into showers on Friday. More low pressure sweeping through the country Saturday into Sunday. And then into next week, yes, further areas of low pressure pushing in, bringing more bouts of wind and rain. That is day 10, which is 6 a.m. on Thursday. And you've guessed it, we've got another batch of wet and windy weather sweeping across the country. Into the extreme range with a GFS 6 there, the unsettled weather goes on. The wind goes back into the south-southwest, so it's not milder again into the final days of the month, but still very unsettled with low pressure bringing regular bouts of wind and rain with it. If you're enjoying the video, then please do you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. And why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. We thank you so very much for doing that. We only need to put on around, I think it's around 40 subscribers now to get ourselves to 14.8k. So if you could give us a sub and tell friends and family to subscribe, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Right, GM looks like this. Very wet, windy Wednesday into Thursday, and then continuing to look really unsettled into the weekend as well. Low pressure bringing further bouts of wet and windy weather sweeping in from off the Atlantic, and the Atlantic onslaught goes on all the way up to day 10 with this vigorous area of low pressure bringing heavy rain and gale force winds. Notice again high pressure to our northeast over Scandinavia into northwestern Russia up to day 10. That high pressure is just lurking but not bringing all that much influence to our weather, except it is having an influence in one way, that is slowing down these areas of low pressure. So it means that it's a wetter pattern than would otherwise be the case. If these areas of low pressure were able to take their more normal track, which would be something like that, then the low pressures will push you very quickly. As it is, the low pressure is coming up against this block, and the weather fronts are kind of slowing up at times across the country. And so it makes what is already an unsettled pattern probably a little bit wetter. But taken from a cold perspective, nothing happening up to day 10. It's all Atlantic driven. But of course, we need to keep an eye on that high pressure over Scandinavia, particularly in the medium to longer term. ECM, again, looking really unsettled on Thursday. Plenty of wet and windy weather to come around the middle part of the week. A little bit dry for a time. Perhaps Friday, although it will be showery. And then over the weekend, further wet, windy weather is sweeping through the country. On into next week, more low pressure pushing in across the country. So further bouts of wind and rain likely all the way up to day 10. This looks like a very, very unsettled and entrenched weather pattern. Dare I say, somewhat reminiscent of November 2009, but I'm not going to go on to that tangent. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM runs from Meteo.com. So we've got lots of wind and rain to come tonight and tomorrow across the country. Going to be a bit of soaker some places, and then we'll have further showery weather into Tuesday before more wet windy weather sweeps across the country Tuesday into Wednesday, and then on we go into the second half of the week with further bouts of wind and rain over the weekend. Another batch of wet windy weather sweeps through the country. A little bit of that could turn, that could turn a little bit wintry. Northern half of the country then over the weekend, and they've got further heavy rain sweeping through the country all the way up to day 10. There's the next mass of wet weather lurking just to our southwest there on the 24th of November. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10. Gets us to the 24th of November. 15 members of the ECM ensembles, including control and the operational run, look very unsettled with low pressure dominating, despite the fact we have got a little bit of blocking to north. We got 14 just here again with low pressure in off the Atlantic. That looks really unsettled to 12. Low pressure again just in control of weather, and 10 down here. Again, looking very unsettled with low pressure dominating the weather. High pressure is lurking to the north and to the northeast, and it's possibly bringing something a little bit cold into the far north of Scotland, actually, with that option. But that's a minority. Most of the options, or all of the options, look very unsettled at day 10, and most of them would be relatively mild as well. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 29th of November. 21 members of the ECM ensembles keep the low pressure coming from off the Atlantic, so plenty of wind and rain come with that. High pressure is up to the north and to the northeast. Now I've got 18 just here that have got high pressure around Greenland and extending back into the Arctic, which is sending the low pressure a bit further south. I think that is starting to draw in some colder air. That will be starting to draw in some colder air into the northern half of the country in particular. And then we've got 12 just here with a Scandinavian high. Low pressure is out to our west. That will probably be bringing colder air from the east, from off the continent. So they're doing it in a different way, but if you put the 18 there together with the 12 there, actually we probably have a majority of ensemble members 2 weeks out, end of November, that are going for colder weather, actually. So we need to wait and see what's going to happen with that, I think. CMSB2, finally, these are 500 millibar height anomalies broken down into week periods. The first week period will take from the 14th to 20th of November. The coming week looks really unsettled with low pressure dominating over and to the west of the country. So, there's going to be plenty of wet and windy weather to come. Week 2 also looks very unsettled. It's the 21st to 27th of November. Low pressure again is in off the Atlantic. Lots of wet and windy weather ahead. Week 3 will be the 28th of November to 4th of December. Low pressure getting pushed out to our west. High pressure building to our east and northeast. That's probably bringing in a relatively mild southerly to southeasterly flow. And then week 4 is the 5th to the 11th of December, with high pressure blocking then from Greenland towards Scandinavia and Iceland. And you would assume that will bring in a cold easterly. You would assume that's going to be bringing colder air from the east. Certainly that would deliver frost and fog with gruesome Tucson, but, could that actually develop into a cold easterly? I wonder. The plot thickens. Right, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please do you like, share, and subscribe. We thank you so very much for doing that. And why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And we thank you so very much, everyone, for doing that. Another 40 subscribers will get us to 14.8k. Please give us a sub, tell friends and family to subscribe, and thank you so much. Right, well, that's it for today's rather late 10 to 14 day. We're going to be back at 8 p.m. live streaming, so we'll have a look at the 12s then. And we'll bring you some long range in that as well, of course, for the coming winter. And it's going to be an interesting live stream. We'll have a chat about the 11th winter update as well, I would have thought. And it's going to be a fun stream. So I shall see you at 8 p.m. for that. But for today's 10 to 14 day, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. See you later on.